1 Timothy 4, 1-3. The commandments and injunctions of men led to the gradual development of the Roman Catholic Church. At a later date, men tried to reform the Catholic Church, but their efforts only resulted in the establishment of more man-made churches. Their efforts gave birth to denominationalism with its hundreds of contradictory doctrines. All historians know that denominationalism is the offspring of Catholicism. But the church founded by Jesus and the apostles in the first century was neither the Roman Catholic Church nor the Protestant Church, but was Christ's church, the true church. Members were neither Catholic nor Protestants, but were Christians.
Thank you. This section here actually takes a lot of time to go into church history, how it got to what it got to.
That's right.
But if we look at Acts chapter 20, verses 29 and 30, we find that Paul's talking to the elders of Ephesus. And he's telling them, these elders, that among yourselves, that means as church people, among yourselves, some shall come up, and they're going to be like grievous wolves, not sparing the flock. They're going to come up among themselves. Somebody like to read that for me?
What scripture?
Acts chapter 20, verses 29 and 30. And somebody else read 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verses 1-4. And finally, somebody read 1 Timothy chapter 4. Okay, go ahead, Ruby.
Can I read it?
No, Ruby, just about. Which one are you reading, Ruby?
Last one.
Okay, then I want Acts chapter 20.
Okay, Acts chapter 20, verse 29 and 30. I know that after my departure, savage wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock. And from among your own selves, men will arise, speaking perverse things, to draw away the disciples after them.
Unfortunately, one of the problems in life, right, is power. Power is a problem in life, because we find that in 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, 16. I almost did a blooper at that time. But anyways, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. A lot of people like that power. They like having power. So, because that's one of the sins that mankind has to wrestle with, it makes sense that eventually it's going to happen in the church. And because it's in the church, it's going to take the church into the wrong direction. Okay? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Somebody got that? Anybody?
2 Thessalonians
Chapter 2, verses 1-4.
I got it. It says, Now we request you, brethren, with regard to the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our gathering together to him, that you not be quickly shaken from your composure, or be disturbed either by a spirit or by a message or a letter as it from us, to the effect that the day of the Lord has come. Let no one in any way deceive you, for it will not come unless the apostasy comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself above every so-called God or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, displaying himself as being God.
Oh, see that coming? That's what Paul was talking about back in the first century. That somebody's going to claim to be God in the temple and accepting worship. We saw that coming. Okay, the last verse before we actually get ready to close is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1-3, 4. 1-3, excuse me.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to the seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meat which God had created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
That's right. What's that sound like to you?
Catholicism.
Right? The vow of celibacy, you can't get married, you can't eat meat. This is talking about the Catholic practice. Because that's where you find these priests, right? They're not married, they can't get married. On Fridays, they have to eat fish. You see that. Anyways, we're running out of time. Is there any closing comments before we close down and say
I just want to say one thing.
next week?
And how did, if they say Peter was a pope and he was married, how did he get to be? You said he was a pope, and they say forbidden to marry. But Peter, he was married, so how did he get to be the pope?
I guess when you have your conscience seared, you could do whatever you want to do.
They believe in their own self. They say
Yeah.
forbidden to marry.
Yeah.
And that was like almost hundreds and hundreds of years later before actually the birth of the
Isn't that something?
the Catholic Church came about. Okay? No other comments?
I have a question, you can answer next week, but is it possible a person can obey the gospel outside of being in the Church of Christ if they obey that the word is the seed, and if they hear the word of the gospel, is it possible that they can still become a member? You don't have to answer that now. I just really want to know that.
I have an answer for you though. But I'm not going to answer it right now because you told me I didn't have to answer it right now. Now you have to come next week.
Oh, no.
Otherwise, huh?
No, we're twins. I'll get it out of you.
Otherwise, if you don't come next week, I'm going to tell everybody call Marva and tell her that we got the answer, but we're not going to tell her what it is. Anyways, let's close with a word of prayer. I'm going to ask Brother Adib to close us in a word of prayer.